This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Jing Jamlang. On the Scorecard tonight, strong group Philippines stays undefeated, outlasts Malaysia for 6th straight Jones Cup victory. Philippine Davis Cup team sweeps Kuwait, stays unbeaten in Group 4. Messi's multi-goal streak snapped in MLS clash. Inter Miami falls to Cincinnati. Chepngetich, world record queen, hit with provisional suspension over doping shock. Meanwhile, it is a sad day for extreme sports as Felix Baumgartner, legendary skydiver, dies in paragliding crash in Italy. In a lighter note, Shohei Ohtani swings for a new field launches a children's book about his dog, Decoy. While in the NBA, Dame returns to Rip City. Dame Lillard signs a 3-year deal with the Blazers. And BNC sports correspondent Sheila Salaysay brings us the latest on Philippine tennis sensation Alex Eala. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 18th of July. Now, here's our roundup. 6 games up, 6 games down, and strong group Athletics Philippines just keeps rolling. The defending champions came out firing with a 9-0 opening blitz, then held off a fiery Malaysian fight back to claim a 106-98 win and remain unbeaten at the 44th William Jones Cup. DJ Fenner led the charge with 20 points on 9 shots, adding 8 rebounds and 4 assists, while keeper Ravenna made his presence felt with 17 points and 4 triples in his first start. Ange Kwame and Gio Chu ruled the paint with 23 points and 20 boards combined, as Alan Liwag chipped in 16. Strong group shot an impressive 58%, but still had to weather Malaysia's 13-5 second quarter run before pulling away with a 17-6 surge in the third. Stephen Green unloaded a sensational 50-point explosion for Malaysia, yet even that was not enough to topple a balanced, strong group machine. Up next, a showdown with Bahrain that could decide the gold. A mighty swing, a dominant sweep, and an unstoppable team on a mission. The Philippine men's tennis squad once again flexed their firepower in the Davis Cup Group 4 Asia-Oceania zone, overpowering Kuwait with a commanding 3-0 victory in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Jean-Henry Louillier, president of Unified Tennis Philippines, could not hide his pride as AJ Lim, Nino Alcantara, Ruben Gonzalez, Jed Olivares, and Iggy Pantino continue to showcase relentless grit and heart under coaches Joseph Lizardo and Johnny Arcilla. Now with momentum on their side, the Philippines eye a step closer to promotion in Group 3, ready to take on whoever stands in their path. Now in football, the GOAT's fire-breathing run hits a wall as Lionel Messi's Major League Soccer record streak of multi-goal games ends at 5. In the MLS showdown, Inter Miami was shut down 3-0 by FC Cincinnati, with a 38-year-old Argentine star held scoreless for the first time in weeks. Messi had torched defenses with 5 straight braces, scoring 16 goals in the streak, a feat he hadn't matched since his Barcelona days in 2012. Gerardo Valenzuela struck early in the 16th minute. Brazilian forward Evander doubled the lead in the 50th and added another in the 70th, sealing the dominant win for the hosts. Miami drops to 11-4 with 5 draws, good for 38 points, sitting 5th in the Eastern Conference, trailing leaders Philadelphia by 8 points with 3 games in hand. Meanwhile, it is a sad day for extreme sports as the man who once defied gravity from the edge of space has fallen back to Earth in tragic fashion. Felix Baumgartner, the Austrian daredevil who broke the sound barrier with his iconic 2012 stratospheric jump, has died after losing control of his paraglider over Porto San Elpidio in Italy. The 56-year-old crashed into a hotel pool, leaving the world of extreme sports in shock and mourning. Tributes poured in from all corners. Baumgartner's legacy as a symbol of fearlessness and inspiration will forever live on. Meanwhile, another doping controversy hits sports, this time in marathon. Ruth Chepngetich, the Kenyan powerhouse who shattered the women's marathon world record with a 2-hour, 9.56-minute masterclass in Chicago last October, now finds herself under a provisional suspension after testing positive for the banned diuretic hydrochlorothiazide. The Athletics Integrity Unit revealed the 30-year-old star's sample from March 14 returned a massive 3,800 nanograms per milliliter, far above WADA's 20 nanograms per milliliter limit, triggering a full-scale investigation. Chepngetich was not initially forced to stop competing, but on April 19, she voluntarily accepted a provisional suspension as the case moved towards a disciplinary tribunal. And on July 17, the AIU formally issued a notice of charge and its own provisional suspension. She had earlier withdrawn from the April 27 London Marathon, citing that she was not in the right place mentally or physically. Now the marathon community waits with bated breath as one of the greatest, or the sport's biggest names, fights to defend her legacy and her future on the global stage. Now, in a lighter note, when he isn't lighting up ballparks, Shohei Ohtani is now taking his talents to storybook pages. The three-time MVP, sidelined from pitching by injuries, has teamed up with his baseball-loving dog, Decoy, for his first-ever children's book, Decoy Saves Opening Day. The heartwarming tale follows Decoy on a race against time to fetch his baseball and save the start of a new season. Ohtani revealed the book on Instagram, with all proceeds supporting groups that help rehome stray and abandoned dogs. In the NBA, Rip City roars back to life as Damian Lillard returns to Portland on a 3-year deal worth $42 million, bringing hope and heart to a fan base that never stopped believing. Rip City, a nickname that dates back to a 1971 radio call symbolizing Portland's never say die attitude, once again belongs to its greatest icon. Lillard, the 35-year-old 9-time All-Star and the franchise's all-time leader in points and three-pointers, confirmed his comeback with a video of his locker and the message, "Rip City!" After an 11-year run in Portland, a brief stint in Milwaukee, and a torn Achilles that could sideline him for the entire 2025-26 season, Lillard is coming home. The Bucks waived him earlier this month, stretching his remaining contract, paving the way for his return to the city where Dame Time was born. Lillard returns to a franchise and a fan base ready to see their hero wear the Rip City colors once more, even if they must wait until he's fully healed. And here's your daily dose of sports lingo. Who rules the X-ring in archery? In competitive archery, the X-ring is the smallest circle within the bullseye, often used as the ultimate tiebreaker in matches. Hitting the X-ring not only scores the maximum points, it also showcases the archer's precision, focus, and consistency under pressure. The more X's an archer hits, the higher their standing when scores are tied, making every shot into the X-ring a statement of mastery. Only the best can live in the X-ring. Now it's time for our off-court buzzer. The hardwood heroine everyone wanted to see under the bright lights will now be sidelined. Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever phenom, has been ruled out of the WNBA All-Star Game and three-point contest after suffering a groin injury just days ago. She revealed through the team that she is devastated to miss the festivities, admitting that her body needs rest to heal. Despite the pain, Clark insists she will be on the sidelines at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, helping coach Team Sandy and cheering her squad to victory. For the first time in her storied career, the 2024 Rookie of the Year has been forced to miss 10 games, leaving fans to wonder if this is just a temporary setback or the beginning of a tougher road ahead. And that's our roundup for tonight, the 18th of July. Up next, BNC sports correspondent Sheila Salaysay brings us the latest on Filipina tennis sensation Alex Eala. So better keep it here on the Scorecard. Welcome back to the Scorecard. Alex Eala is back home, though her schedule was packed. The Filipino tennis sensation who put the country in the global tennis map candidly shared her thoughts on her hits and misses that have marked her incredible tennis journey. Here's our sports correspondent Sheila Salaysay with this report.
In the ever-competitive world of tennis, one young Filipina is making history. With the Philippine flag close to her heart and a calm, fearless determination on the court, the Filipina tennis sensation Alex Eala is quickly becoming one of the world's most compelling stars. In a press conference this afternoon, July 18, a calm and confident Alex Eala reflected on her recent wins, the pride of representing the Philippines, and her steady rise in the WTA rankings. At the age of 20, she remains focused on growth, more driven than ever to push her limits and make the country even prouder on the international scene.
I learned my tricks, I learned what keeps me going, I learned how to manage my nerves, and I learned to be brave and channel the boss, like try to be the boss on court.
After her successful run at the Miami Open, even more doors have opened for Alex Eala, not just in the world of tennis, but in the global sports spotlight as well.
It was crazy how things changed before and after Miami, you know, how many doors opened up and of course all this attention and everything. And it's crazy because we were saying like everything that I'm doing is still the same. Like our routines are still the same, the people surrounding me are still the same, you know, my tight circle. So he told me, so Alex, what's the lesson in that? And I thought about it and I said, what? And then he said, the lesson is that when you're doing bad, it's not as bad as you think. And then when you're doing good, it's also not as good as you think. So it's never too bad or too good. It's always like this. It just depends. Sometimes it will click and you will get results, and sometimes it will be a bit more difficult. Yeah.
Alex's journey hasn't been easy. The pressure is high and the spotlight is intense. But with the unwavering support of her family, especially her grandfather Lolo Bob, she continues to fight even harder. And in those moments, her true champion spirit shines through. Lolo Bob's support made all the difference.
He was a huge part of my life and my career, or my young career. He was my first and only coach until I moved to Spain. So every day he was the one, you know, that put in the work, and so many things that I learned from him, but a lot of the foundation of my mentality and the bravery I have on court comes from, you know, that tough love and that sacrifice that he gave for me and my brother. Yeah.
With multiple junior Grand Slam titles and the first Filipina to reach a WTA final, Alex Eala has firmly cemented her place as one of the brightest stars in Philippine tennis. And she's not slowing down, but continues her pursuit of excellence on the global stage.
There's still a lot for me to achieve. I think there are a lot of big tournaments lined up, not just the US Open, so I hope to play well there, and of course try to get my first Grand Slam main draw win. And then after that, I'll be circling back to Asia, so playing near home will be nice. Right now, what's lined up for me before US Open, I go to Canada, Montreal, and then Cincinnati and Monterrey, and then of course New York. And after that, like I said, we shift to Asia, so there will be a few around China. I know there's one in Hong Kong in October, and yeah, around, you know, closer to home, so if anyone wants to come.
In every match and in every moment, Alex Eala is not just changing the game for herself. She is rewriting the story for an entire generation of Filipino athletes, lifting all of us higher with every win and every comeback. Alex Eala has proven that she's more than just potential. She's a force, and she's just getting started. Reporting for the Scorecard, Sheila Salaysay, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Up next, one living legend, one hungry champ. Pacquiao wants one more shot at immortality, but Barrios isn't here for sentiment. Two worlds collide in Vegas. The stage is set and somebody's walking out different. Tune in, lock in, and keep your eyes on the prize. Welcome back to the Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. We are a few sleeps away from Manny Pacquiao. Yes, the Pac-Man walking into a title fight at age 46 in Las Vegas against a 30-year-old world champion named Mario Barrios, who, depending on who you ask, might be entering the prime of his career. Let that settle in for a second, because that's not just a fight, that's a potential time machine moment for boxing. The legend, the left hand from hell, Manny Pacquiao's last real fight, that was 2021. He looked slower, smaller, and human in a decision loss to Yordenis Ugas, and most of us thought, all right, curtain call, the guy's 40-something, he's a Hall of Famer, he's got a political career, it's over. Except it wasn't, and it isn't. Pacquiao says he missed the grind, the road work, the sparring, the chess match under the bright lights. This guy doesn't just love boxing, he is boxing. There's no blueprint for this kind of return because, frankly, nobody in boxing history has done what Manny has, winning titles across 4 decades. It's absurd. You don't write characters like this. Stallone tried, and Pacquiao still made it feel more real. Now, let's talk about the other guy in the other corner. Mario Barrios, 30 years old, solid reach, really good jab, great motor. He's not a megastar yet, but he's been climbing. He's a smart fighter. Took out Yordenis Ugas, the same guy who beat Pacquiao. He's not flashy, he's not chasing headlines, he just works. Now, Barrios is long, technical, durable, and more than anything, he's not here to play gatekeeper. He is the champ, and he's made it pretty clear. This is my belt. Manny's just another man trying to take it from me. This isn't just about belts or scorecards or the MGM crowd. This is about legacy, about trying to grab hold of something that's supposed to be long gone. And Pacquiao's trying to grab it without apology. Now, you can talk all day about age, rust, timing, all of that. But we've seen Pacquiao break fights open in the first 2 rounds. He's still quick, he still has the angles, and if Barrios leaves the door open, even just a crack, Manny knows how to walk through. But this is also a test of reality. 4 years off, 3 exhibitions, and now he's jumping back in with a belt on the line. That's not just Rocky, that's more like chasing lightning. Can he really make it strike one more time? What we're about to witness at the MGM Grand might be the final meaningful chapter in the book of Manny Pacquiao. And the ending, well, it's still unwritten. If he wins, we're talking about arguably the most shocking late career moment in boxing since George Foreman knocked out Michael Moore. If he loses, then we tip our cap and say thank you one last time to the legend who never knew when to stop. So, stay ahead of the fight game as the boxing world turns its eyes to Las Vegas. The ring is ready. The gloves are laced. Pacquiao versus Barrios promises pure fire. Here's what to watch for when the bell rings. So, what's left in that 46-year-old frame? What happens when fire meets steel, when legacy meets reality? Barrios is a strong favorite with implied win probability around 70%, while Pacquiao remains a plus 210 to plus 275 underdog. On Sunday, we find out. Manny Pacquiao isn't just fighting Mario Barrios, he is fighting the clock, the critics, and the ceiling on what a legend is allowed to do. And that's a wrap on our Fight Night preview. A legend looking for one last crown, a champion ready to defend his time. Who makes history? Who makes a statement? Tune in, lock in, and keep your eyes on the prize. Before we go, think on this. From one of the most iconic boxers in history, a world champion in 8 different weight divisions, the only fighter ever to achieve this feat. Manny Pacquiao once said, "I don't fight for revenge or glory. I fight to inspire others to never give up on their dreams." And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week on The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport. On the Bilyonaryo News Channel, this is Jing Jamlang. Have a blessed evening. Good night.